We're gonna go live
already.
Let's see. One live video is starting.
Can we also make requests for other songs?
No, we're just gonna. I'm not taking any requests, Michael. Hold on.
As
Okay,
long as it's not no
we're
Creed.
officially live on Facebook. All right. All right, guys. Welcome to the Garden Party. My name is Destin Nowak, Texas Garden Guy, and like I said before, this is the Garden Party. This is the Garden Party, and we want a garden party with you. We talk about the plants we grow and some things you might not know. The Garden Party, first episode of 2020. Woo! All right, Phil, go and introduce yourself and start us off, dude. Do you hear me, Phil?
What? I can't see you guys. But hey, everyone, it's Phil from Phil's Figs, the Fig Daddy, a great parent as well as the great plant parent. But I'm back on the podcast and stoked to be here.
Shout out to the Fig Daddy. Welcome back, Mr. Phil. And we got Stephanie. We got Stephanie with River V Growers up top.
What's up? Stephanie with River V. I have a retail garden center and I am a farmer, protein and produce.
Absolutely. And where are you located?
Point Blank, Texas.
Did you make that up? Is that a real town?
It's a real town. We're in Texas,
Whoa.
Remember.
Where?
That's crazy. I thought.
Okay, Lake Livingston. If you
Still
fish,
lost.
still lost. We're 60 miles north of Houston. How about that?
Oh, you're not
Okay.
far from me then.
No, I'm an hour and a half from you.
Oh, I'm gonna have to make a trip. No, I
Yeah.
thought the craziest named town in Texas was the place called Cut and Shoot, and that's a place you do not want to break down at.
No.
Ever. Yes.
Oh, gun barrel.
There's a Gun Barrel, Texas.
There is.
Oh, geez, man. Who gave people the ability to name their own towns?
No idea.
Okay, if we got another first timer on the garden party, we got Mr. Dirk Tanner from Tanner Farmstead. Go and introduce yourself, man.
What's up, y'all? My name's Dirk. We're on Tanner Farmstead. We're a small scale, market garden. We do some, pasture raised chickens and whatnot. And we have a little honor system farm store at our place. So a lot of what we do is just focusing on educating people how to grow food. What everybody else is doing, which is why I'm happy to be here to learn from y'all.
Oh man, we're all learning. I love your I guess your farm shed. Is that just like a unit you buy by itself and you just filled it up and everything?
Bought it prefab. They delivered it. It's easy peasy. We actually never ran electrical to it, uninsulated. Just have extension cords run from the house.
Heck yes.
Where are you located?
We're in Greenbrier, Arkansas, just north of Little Rock, about 40 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Is that close to Fayetteville?
We're about 2.5 hours from Fayetteville.
Close to Little Rock.
I heard that.
Yeah, got you. Well, and we got a returning guest, Mr. Michael Fiore. Michael Smith Fiore from Smith's Garden Town. Go ahead and introduce yourself again.
Yeah, so I'm excited that there's another retail garden center on with Stephanie down there. So, or I don't know orientation-wise on the screen where you are. You're below me on my screen. You may be above me on everybody else's screen.
I don't know.
So
right next to it.
So yeah, I'm a fourth generation garden center person. They used to call them nurserymen back in the day, but that became not politically correct anymore. So now we are nursery professionals. I don't know what I am, but we grow plants, we sell plants up in Wichita Falls, Texas. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. Glad to be back. Glad you invited me back after previous shenanigans on other podcasts.
Absolutely. Well, you've been featured in like Nurseryman magazine and stuff like that, haven't you?
Yeah, we had the business has had a bunch of accolades over the years. This year we had a few awards, and I was on a couple of magazine covers for whatever reason. But yeah, got some big awards this year, Young Retailer of the Year, things like that.
Awesome.
So I won a trip to Ohio.
Nice. There's two places I don't want to go, Ohio and Wichita Falls.
I got to go to both of them.
Yeah, no, I've spent a lot of time in Wichita Falls, and it's not that bad. It's still Texas technically. So
we are the first line of defense against Oklahoma, so we're important up here.
Are y'all closer to Oklahoma City than Dallas?
It's about the same, actually. It's 2 hours to Dallas, 2 hours to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, I was looking at the map because I was trying to map it out. If me and Vikram wanted to meet in the middle, so Vikram will be driving from Lubbock. He's got like a 4 hour drive, and I'd have like a 6 hour drive. We could meet up there and come up there and see you. So
Yeah, do it.
that'd be fun. Well, guys, as gardeners, people might not think that now is the time that you would be starting your spring garden, but as gardeners, we're always looking ahead to next season and what's coming up next. So I wanted to make this episode all about starting your spring garden in January. A lot of big nurseries and growers, like, I don't know, Michael, when did y'all start your tomatoes?
We haven't started them yet, actually, because we cheat. We don't grow our tomatoes from seed for the most part. We grow them from
Oh my
cuttings
God.
or from plugs, actually, just because it fits in our production cycle better. But so yeah, we'll be getting those in. I think our first batch comes in like in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And they're so
and those, but
fast. Tomatoes are so fast that
yeah,
we get them from those plugs. We get them up and growing in a hurry.
yeah. I know it's a really good idea to get a jump start, like on peppers, especially. Like, this other nursery down here, they start their peppers around like Thanksgiving, and they start their tomato seeds like the week of Christmas. And because someone was asking me in the live on Tuesday night, they're like, "How do I get my tomato plants to be so big?" And I was like, "Well, start early. Start them inside." That's the best advice I can give anybody for that.
We do start our super hot peppers, the insanely hot ones. We start those in the fall because they are so slow to grow that in order to have them any size by spring, we got to start them in the fall.
Is that the common consensus that the hotter the pepper, it seems like the slower it grows?
Absolutely. Yeah. The
Yeah.
things like the Ghost and the Trinidad Scorpion and the Boot Jolokais and all of those, they're just so slow to get up and produce peppers.
Yeah. Yep. What have y'all started already, Stephanie? I'm sure you've already got a bunch of stuff started.
Me? Did you say Stephanie?
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. We start our tomatoes. We started the first batch on the 15th of December, and then I just started some on the 22nd. So I'll probably start a couple hundred every week until the spring. So I grow for my retail garden center, and then I grow for our produce patch too. So we're trying to do like double the amount so we can have 6 packs.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so y'all sell starts too, and not just y'all sell the starts as well.
Yeah, we sell all sorts of veggie starts, your heirlooms, and then a lot of standard varieties.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Dirk? Are y'all going to try to do starts, or y'all just going to be selling tomatoes and stuff at the farm stand this year?
Yeah, we just don't we don't have the space, and it's not something that I've really wanted to mess with. Trying to, I know a lot of other farmers already do it, but I also see them compost 1 million plants every year for a seeds. I think it works for some people. It's not something I really want to put the work towards. I just, but yeah.
Some for people who just starting out, if you don't have you don't necessarily need a bunch of like seed starting trays. You can do tomatoes in like a Dixie cup or whatever. Like recycled cardboard carton, for like a milk carton or whatever. There's a lot of cool options, but like for some people, it's just easier to buy the starts. Like I was telling Stephanie the other day, like for kale and broccoli and cabbage, I never have good luck starting those seeds. And so it's always just easier for me to just buy the starts, but you're paying so much more. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how much a head of cabbage costs. Like what, $2 or $3? I mean, a plant is like $2 and you're watering it all the time, and so like, it's whether or not you want to like grow your own cabbage or if you want to eat cabbage. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't know if it's worth it, but I try it every year. And Stephanie actually gave me a good tip on my broccoli this year. She said to pop it up earlier, right? Don't leave it in the tray so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We try not to let anything get root bound, even putting it out a little bit earlier. Except for tomatoes, they don't like their roots really disturbed. I mean, I've seen them where they don't like it, but everything else we try to go super, super early.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say we're live on Facebook right now, so if y'all are watching, feel free to drop a comment down below with a question about gardening. We got people from all over the U.S. Like Southeast mostly, but I mean, we have a lot of good advice for people because Phil, you're probably the most north. So what zone are you in?
Am I the most north? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I might be pushing it with Arkansas, but but I'm right on the coast, so I'm on zone 8B. So we'll see snow every 3 years, maybe, and then it melts by lunchtime. But the whole town freaks out. But
So-
my whole greenhouse is full of fig cuttings, and then I have my own. I'm trying to overwinter a bunch of, like, as a home gardener, I've decided to overwinter all 10 of my pepper plants because they were so awesome. And so I'm like, what's that?
Do you sell your cuttings?
I do. I have a big cutting sale going on right now.
Do you do that locally, or do you ship? Do you ship to people?
I ship all over.
Yeah,
Nice.
Phil's
Across
Figs,
the country.
philsfigs.com. He's got a bunch of you ran out of the Godfather figs,
I
right?
ran out of the Godfather fig. I have a few in reserve, so like the really fancy ones, like the Col de Dame Blanc, Col de Dame Noir, those are popping up now too. Those are the ones that are like, people are like, do you ever make jams with them? I'm like, you don't need to make jam with these figs. You just need to, like, wipe them on some crusty bread and you're good to go. And so those,
It's already
Nice.
jam. It's already jam.
Yeah. And so I'm going to put out some of those. Those ones are a little more fickle, but it's worth the vigor to try to root them. But
Did you say those are
popping up, and I did not say that, but that made me so happy to hear that.
It's been so long since we had Michael on. I forgot about the fruit and vegetable puns and the dad jokes. And
oh my gosh,
I welcome them. I welcome them so much. Thank you so much.
Just for the record, that was not slipped in there. That was full throttle. That was gear 5.
Yeah,
full throttle, man.
I'll have to order some figs from you, bro, because I need to.
Yeah, check them out, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, I've got like a little swell I want to plant some trees, fruit trees, and different things on. But anyways,
oh, nice, dude.
So
I got you, dog.
Now is definitely the time of year. Jorge's having sales on like cold hardy trees and stuff like that. Your apples, your peaches, your pears, you can still probably plant some of those if you're in a warmer climate. Someone was asking me whether it was better, and this probably be a good question for you, Michael. Is it better to go ahead and plant right now when it's kind of getting cold? We're getting like maybe towards the peak in January, February, or would you rather wait? Would you rather us wait till like spring?
It's actually better to go ahead and plant unless it's something that is cold sensitive, like a fig in Arkansas may be cold sensitive. But for everything that is appropriate for your zone, what we found is there's just like a curve like this of best time to plant and worst time to plant. Best time to plant for most everything is fall. Winter is still good. And then as we get into spring, that decline is dropping because we're getting closer and closer to summer, which is the most stressful time for plants. And then summer is the worst time to plant most of your plants, at least in Texas, where it gets so hot and dry. So your survivability rate is going to be highest in fall, next highest in winter, and then spring, and then summer. So as long as it's a cold hardy plant, we're still planting trees all winter long. The only exception would be maybe is if you see that plant was in a nursery where it was protected, and then you were going to take it straight outside, right in front of like a bad cold snap or something. You want to make sure that you're buying a plant that has been properly dormant and hardened off.
Yeah, you don't want to mess up the acclimation, because I guess we can get into some more fruit tree talk. Because you would think like the springtime is the best time to buy a fruit tree.
That's just when everybody wants to buy them.
Yeah. Everybody's waking up out of hibernation and wants to get a fruit tree and put it in the ground, and then they want to overwater it and kill it. But honestly, the best time, especially like at Jorge's, he's got his apple trees and everything outside, and he was actually saying all of his trees require less than 300 hours of chill time, which is really good. And I've had some questions about chill time as well. Whether or not like chill time doesn't necessarily mean freezing temperatures.
No,
it just means like I'll let you explain, Stephanie. Like the that puts you on the spot. Sorry.
No, that's cool. Michael might be better for it, but no, for chill hours, it doesn't necessarily have to be freezing and under to get to those 300 hours. But I think that's a zone specific thing too. You have to see for whatever tree you're going to buy, make sure that the chill hours are what your zone has. But 300 is really good for our area. I know, and you guys probably all know too, that they changed the zone. So we were 8B and now we're 9. Not that
Welcome.
Yeah, well, hello. I'm so excited. They say you can
now
grow
you can
year-round.
magically grow. Yeah, you can magically grow all these plants you previously couldn't grow now.
All the time.
Just like the banana belt, right? Just we in our first podcast we mentioned the banana belt because there's like a weird belt. Were you here for that, Michael? Zach or Noah was explaining. It's if you Google it, it's called the banana belt, and there's certain like places throughout the U.S. where like these cities and these places have like little microclimates, and they can grow bananas where they shouldn't be able to grow bananas, and it's called the banana belt. It's very strange.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing one right now.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness.
Bad joke.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we can go around the horn and talk about like some of our favorite tomato varieties, what your favorite spring vegetables are to plant, and maybe you give us a tip, on what you like to plant. So I know you're like a commercial farm, for the most part, you're farming, so you probably have the leg up on knowing a bunch of those good varieties. So I'll start off with you.
Yeah.
Who were you talking to? Stephanie. Go ahead.
I gotta be loud.
Stephanie. Yeah. We stick to about 2 to 3 varieties per plant. So over here where I am, I choose celebrity tomatoes. That's a really easy one to find in a retail setting. So I always like to offer that one. Your Sweetie 100, so your reds, cherry tomatoes. And then I always recommend to try something new or fun. So try those 2 tried and true plants, and then try something fun like an heirloom, like a Cherokee purple, or those funky green zebra cherries. Just like always try to find something fun to grow along with those hardy ones so that your garden's fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always recommend people do that. Like find the varieties that you like out of everything, and then throw in like a wild card every year because everybody who grows gets those Baker Creek magazines, and now they got some weird hippie on social media. Have y'all seen the Baker Creek?
Yes.
Oh my god, I can't tell if like that guy works there or like a homeless person stole like the owner's phone and he's just living there. I don't know, but I need to try to get him on the podcast.
Be a little hybrid. Like he was there. He's pretty. Like, guess what? Come on in.
Yeah, dude, that account is very cool. In certain
ways.
It's
like blowing up. It's working.
I know.
It's very eccentric and it's working for them because they're getting a ton of positivity and like good comments and shares. So
they had some bad press, so they need some good press. I know they had some.
They had bad press.
Yeah, you can Google it later.
Okay.
It depends on who you ask, but they had some negative reviews. Yeah. But yeah, so over to Phil. I don't know which order we are on Facebook, but I'll let Phil, like, what are you planting right now? Like, what are you excited to plant for spring?
Oh, all my greens. So like, and I'm overwintering my kales, but I kind of succession plant those. And then, because I'm going to get to the end of my first life cycle of the ones I've had for the past year. And then I have more carrots I'm going to put in the next few months because I'm waiting on these yellow Uzbek carrots to come in. And those are cool. That's a cool experimental variety when we talk about like normals and favorites. And I'm like the home gardener, and then figs is my business. But and then tomatoes again. I'm probably gonna do my cherries again. And then my experimental last year were spoon tomatoes, which were like the tiniest little tiny things. And I got millions of them. And you just like sprinkle them in salads. They're kind of hard to get with a fork. But I want to make more of like a tomato patch and kind of do the San Marzano thing and try to make my own sauce this year. So I have to isolate.
As Italian as you are, you got to have some San Marzano. You got to get some of that. You got to get some of those, dude. You got to get some. It's so funny because I saw a bunch of like people growing the spoon tomatoes because like we were talking about earlier, Baker Creek had like on the tomato section. It's like, look at these little baby tomatoes. And I have a hard enough time getting the little like sweet 100s and stuff. Or actually, my favorite cherry is the blueberry cherry tomato. I really love those. They actually almost have like a blueberry, like kind of sweet flavor to them, it feels like.
Yeah.
But even just finding those is such a pain. Those little tiny ones, I'd have to like just cut off the whole branch and like, just strip them off like that.
So, well, it gets to a point you go out there and you just shake it and you just pick them all up because there's just so many of them. There's so little. They like
Yeah.
almost fall through the colander holes. Anyway.
I might need to get some of those and plant them just as like sacrifices to the mockingbird gods. Like maybe they'll just leave all my other ones alone. I don't know. I'm sure if you grow tomatoes, everybody hates mockingbirds. But yeah, did you say you're overwintering your kale outside, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're getting down to 27 tonight, and I'm debating throwing the cloth over top because I have like some lettuces and stuff. But the kale has just pushed right through every freeze, and actually gets sweeter.
Yeah. That's
which
what
is
I was
really
going to
cool
ask.
too.
Since we got some college educated people here on plants and stuff, is it true how it works? The negative or the below 32 turns the starches into sugar. Is that how it works?
Is that what it is? I know in like amylization. I don't know the process scientifically of how it works. Maybe you guys could explain in more detail. I know they do grow slower for me. I don't get the same growth rate, but I can still harvest throughout the winter, which has been fun.
Yeah, Michael can usually smarty pants it up when it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah, I'm not that one. My banana belt is sagging too low.
Oh my God! Stop talking about your sagging.
My smarty pants sagged for a moment.
Next week we'll have ChatGPT on as a guest, and we'll ask
Yes,
him.
yeah, my God.
Someone let us know real quick.
Yeah.
I get it.
Comment.
Someone will comment something. Say, I got the chocolate pepper seeds. I'm interested in finding out what those will taste like. Has anyone ever grown the chocolate peppers?
Chocolate? No, but there's like a candy cane that we grew last year, and it's got like a chocolate stripe. I don't know if that might be, because there's so many names, right? One company names them something, and then somebody else calls them something different. But I have grown the candy cane pepper, and it has like a chocolate stripe. It's a snacking red and green pepper, and they're delicious, and they're really fun to grow.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
My buddy had told me about like they had it was like called a Count Chocula. It was a pepper, and it was like a chocolatey tasting like a pepper, and they mixed it, like they cross-pollinated it with like a ghost pepper, and so they called it like a Count Choc. Like it was weird. It was crazy, but it was super hot, and I don't do hot peppers at all. I can't do it at all whatsoever.
I wonder, like that would taste really good if you're like making like a mole, like a Mexican mole type sauce. That would be awesome with that. But again, I've never tried that type of pepper.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mess with the hot stuff.
Me either.
Mr. Dirk, what are you growing this spring?
Well, one thing, I love the hot stuff. Like if I'm not sweating and feeling a little punished, then it's not hot.
I knew it. I just looked at you and I was like, that guy likes hot peppers.
Yep.
I love it, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't really experiment with because I mean, really everything that we grow for the most part, we're trying to sell, or we do sell. So to be honest, most of the time we just stick with like the Sun Gold, Cherry Tomato, Super Sweet 100. We're going to experiment with a, kind of more of a slicer tomato this year, along with doing the cherries. But that's the extent of our and we grow all those in the greenhouse. We try to grow all our summer crops in the greenhouse. They just tend to do better under cover. They just produce better for us. So I don't know if I have any major tips, though. I'm definitely not the pro when it comes to tomatoes. To be honest, most of the time I neglect tomatoes because I get tired of pruning, rows and rows of them.
Yeah. Well, this year I actually was telling everybody on the other podcast that I'm gonna like kind of not plant as many tomatoes this year since it's just for me. Last year I probably did 50 tomatoes in my backyard alone. And then once they start getting like crazy, it's so hard to keep up with pruning them. And so I was like, I'm going to do like maybe less than half that this year and focus on growing them like the right way. Trying to grow the best, instead of growing the most tomatoes, can I grow the best tomatoes this year? And, really take care because I grow mine in containers since I'm in a backyard subdivision. The containers get too close together and they start weaving in and out of each other and just becomes a nightmare. And then I had the worst leaf-footed bug infestation this past year. It was unreal, and so I think it was an airflow problem. It was a congestion problem. So I'm going to focus on growing the best tomatoes this year rather than a million. So, Well, Michael, I know a lot of people that run greenhouses and are farmers don't garden, but you actually garden, right?
I do. Not as much at the house I'm living in now. At my old house, I was really into the home gardening, but now my kids are pushing me back into it. They're really getting on board with it. So I do currently a bunch of uh, like containers on my deck. I've got a big deck in my backyard, and then I'm going to be putting in some raised beds. I'm going to be putting in some raised beds because the kids are like, we want strawberries and we want tomatoes and we want this and cucumbers. My kids love cucumbers.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're ready to get back into it, and they're getting to the age where they can actually be more responsible. You know, they're going to be the ones that go out and water and fight off the squirrels from eating all the plants and all of that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that chapter with them, because previously when I was gardening, they were quite a lot smaller, so it was mostly just me doing everything. And now that I've got 3 kids, and it's just a great way to be involved with them and
Yeah.
get them to eat stuff that they normally wouldn't eat. You know, kale. My kids would go out there and just grab it and eat it right off the plant, because it's so much different than having it put on their
Yep.
plate for them, and they're like, I don't want that. But when they go harvest it, for whatever reason, they want to eat it a lot, or they're a lot more likely to eat it rather than, you know, being presented to them on their plate. So I'm excited about that, doing more of that with them. And then of course at the nursery, we grow just tons and tons of stuff. But
Yeah.
so it's fun. I will second what Stephanie said about celebrity tomatoes. That is my favorite variety. They
So
produce
good.
like crazy. For us up here in the early spring, they produce big fruits, and then as the warm weather kicks on, the size shrinks down quite a lot, but they still produce a bunch of fruits. But I've had celebrities go over a pound for me when they are early in the season. And then they kind of get back down to more tennis ball size slicers, you know, as it gets warmer. But love that variety. And we can usually harvest them all the way up into like July before the heat starts messing with them a little bit more, up here where we are at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Is the celebrity similar to the early girl? Because the early girl is the one I do the most of, and I get a huge crop out of those.
They
I
look
think celebrity's better.
similar.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give it a try. I usually do the early girls. I think I have done some celebrity. It's kind of hard to tell the difference between them. The Rutgers has been a really good one for me. If y'all know about Rutgers, Rutgers is actually a variety of tomato plant that actually the University of Rutgers established for the Campbell's Soup Company, and that's like what they use in their tomato soup. And then I also like to use, like, they make a one called it's called a Jubilee. It's like more like a big orange one, and that one does really well down here. So yeah, no, I'm gonna do probably less tomato plants, but probably expand my variety. Did y'all see the one in Baker Creek had one last year? It was called like the Pink Fang. It was like a Roma, but it was like a little pink Roma. I can
No.
hear.
But my favorite Roma tomato, this is something everyone should go grow, but don't sell the seeds out. Like if a lot of people watch this, don't sell the seeds out. It's the striped
You don't have to worry about
Roma.
that.
The striped
Whatever.
Roma.
The striped Roma, it's such a good paste tomato and sauce tomato, and then like you can just eat it. The acidity is so good.
Phil,
And
I can hear you. I can hear you typing when you're typing, Phil. You have to
Oh,
mute
no.
yourself when you type. Am I really?
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, striped Roma. That's
like,
why I had to get in there.
Tongue. That's what it sounds.
This is actually
I'm
Phil's
off. Hands up.
personal just research station.
Yeah.
He's just here just to get ideas from us.
Dude, it is always so funny. Like when I do these podcasts, we'll talk about something like with Zach. Like as soon as the podcast is over, he does the video on exactly like what I was talking about. Like right after that, it's so funny. Like it happens every single time, and it's hilarious. I give people better ideas than I get from myself. Like
it's a great brainstorming session.
It
For
is
sure.
really. I mean, that's how like my Phil's Fig Fridays started, and then I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's a great name. Let's run with that." And it was like, boop, and now it's like 3 episodes in. But yeah,
Dude, are you editing on CapCut or what are you editing on?
yeah, that's CapCut.
Yeah. Does everybody use CapCut? Everybody uses CapCut for the most part? You don't, Dirk?
I use InShot and I all on my phone. Just
Yeah. No,
pretty simple.
yeah. What do you use to edit your videos, Stephanie?
Videos like for what? I don't edit my videos. What am I editing?
So you don't edit your reels. You just do whatever.
I do the reels in the app. I just use Instagram.
Oh, okay.
And
Gotcha.
what I've heard since we're talking and brainstorming is that if you create in the app, you're more likely to see like a growth and have more views and things like that.
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay, so
maybe I should edit them.
I don't know. It might work. I don't know.
Whatever you're doing is working, so no changes.
I swallowed a bunch of tomato seeds the other night and it didn't do anything for me.
I seen that.
Dude, so before I did that video, I want everybody to know, do not just put any seeds in your mouth because some are toxic and will kill you. Like Pride of Barbados are really toxic. Don't do that. I actually reached out to Vikram before that and I was like, hey, is there any risk of me like opening a seed packet, dumping a bunch of tomato seeds in my mouth? I was like, do they put anything in there with the seeds, like as like a not anticoagulant, but like a powder or anything? And he's like, no, you're fine. And I was like, you sure? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. And I'll try it anyways.
I don't know.
Hey, I did it for the brand. You know, it is what it is.
What kind of tomato seeds did you swallow?
Oh, they were called, I got them from San Diego Seed Company. They sent them to me, but they were called like Flame. I'll send you a picture afterwards.
Okay, because this is really, really wild, but have you guys ever heard or seen where the cherry tomato, your body actually doesn't digest, this is gross, doesn't digest the cherry tomato seed completely, and so like if you buy biocompost or you go to a composting facility that uses human waste, there's like thousands of cherry tomatoes.
I know, it's kind of nasty to think about.
I 100%.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I see it in my house because every time I have cherry tomatoes, in that pot, you have cherry tomatoes forever. You're never getting rid of, especially sweet 100s. Sweet 100s, you can never get rid of them.
Are you making your own fertilizer? I'm trying to figure out how to word this.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Destin watched The Martian, and he's like, "Oh, I got this."
Dude.
He's like, "That's
Have you read
the secret to growing vegetables."
Uh-huh.
No, actually, we trialed some biocompost a few years ago, and like we let it sit for 6 months, like we do all of our compost, and there was literally cherry tomatoes. So I just went to Google.
Gosh.
And that's what Google said.
Have you seen the videos of people going to the wastewater treatment plant and going out to the fields where they dry the human sludge and there's tomatoes growing and they go and eat them?
I've been there, dude. Yeah,
I've been to wastewater treatment plants. I haven't seen tomatoes, but
yeah, I mostly see like Q-tips and like rubber gloves and stuff like that. You know, that's mostly because with my day job, we do like the electrical contract for like the city of Houston and stuff. And so we actually have to go to the wastewater treatment plant, and it is so nasty. And you see a lot of stuff like animals and all kinds of like,
If you see a tomato, go ahead and eat one.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
It'll make you, I'm sure visiting that'll make you quit drinking tap water too, but that's another conversation.
Dude, I don't.
Has anyone read the Human Manure Handbook? Has anyone read that book?
I know what you're talking about. I know
y'all got to read it. It's pretty cool. I mean, I know it. People, when you start talking about composting human waste, but I mean, it just expands your I guess your thought process and your mindset towards things.
What's it called?
But it's a fantastic book. It's called the Human Manure Handbook, and it's all about composting human waste.
Yeah,
and there's a good amount of people doing it, and like as long as you let it sit. I mean, they don't put it on their annual gardens, but they put it on fruit trees and all that. I mean, if you do it the right way, there's no stench. It's clean. It's helped a lot of countries that don't have wastewater treatment systems in place.
Yeah,
I'm
like
here to. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, raising pastured animals and regenerative farms. That's like a whole movement too. Part of it because you can make your own compost, and like what we tried it for, it was for our pasture for our animal. We had it shipped in, and It worked really, really good. I'm just a fan of mushroom compost, man.
Well, I will tell you right now, if you buy a bag of soil from Walmart, Lowe's, pretty much anywhere, probably what would you say, Michael? About 80% of soil companies use biosolids.
I don't know the figure, but it's in a lot. It's in a lot of areas that people don't realize. Our city has Wichita Falls has a organic compost, recycling program where you can put your yard waste out on the curb. They pick it up and turn it into compost, but they blend in, uh, biomaterial from the wastewater treatment plant into that as well. And nobody here really knows that, and so they give that compost away, and everybody's like, "Yeah, compost for my garden." And I'm pretty sure that a lot of them would be freaked out if they knew that.
It's got, I guess we're kind of busted. We're kind of letting the cat out of the bag. Yeah, if you go to if you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and you look at the back of the bag and it doesn't say biosolid free, it's got biosolids in it. That's pretty much a given.
Ooh.
Like it's a huge. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I know some people poop. Not to be too corny, but some people poo on it. But it's. I mean.
My main issue with it is the pharmaceutical side of it. If you think about all of the drugs that people take and they don't all get processed by our body, a lot of that goes out of our body. And some of those are very difficult to break down, even through the composting process. So that's my main issue with it. Not to say that I don't use it, but it's always kind of in the back of my mind is like how much of that is in there. And it's becoming a
mercury too,
issue.
right? Mercury can be an issue as
yeah.
Someone was telling me like that. Is it called not trace minerals, but like hard, heavy elements or whatever? Heavy metals can be present in some of that stuff that is, biosolids. But hey, you're taking a risk. I mean, I got poo-pooed on because I was putting cardboard in my shredded cardboard in my compost, or like my junk mail. I shred it. I get all the plastic out, shred it, throw it in my worm bin. They eat it. I fill the bottom of my raised bed. I got so many comments. What about all the arsenic and all the stuff? And I was like, dude, go do a soil sample test of the soil in your front yard. Yeah. Arsenic exists in like everything. Like it's already there, man. Like it. I don't know. People just take some chances sometimes, it can't be worse than we're buying the stores.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if you Google like Debbie and then you use biocompost, you're good. You're good. It washes out.
Yeah. I'm okay with the composting your own poop. Where I draw the line is the grounding. I don't know if y'all know about the grounding stuff.
Like it's take your shoes off and ground like to the earth.
Well, it's a little like I've heard some people they like literally will drive a grounding rod outside their bedroom window and run a strap like to their bed frame, and then like put a Velcro strap on their like a strap on their hand. Which I think you could probably get electrocuted like that. Like if the lightning rod would have hit by, I don't know, but either way, like that's where some of the hippie stuff kind of throws. I don't know. I can get into some hippie stuff, but that's where I draw the line. I'm not.
I think if that does not exist in Google Scholar, then maybe it can't be cited as a scientifically proven.
It's
thing.
there, just like electroculture.
Yeah, what are y'all's thoughts on that? I'd love to hear it because I think it's the biggest. I think it's the biggest.
When
I was a kid, we'd all hold hands at the horse electric fence, and then someone would have to be the first person to touch it. And is that the same? No.
I love electroculture so much. I love talking. We talked about it for like an hour and a half on one podcast, and
yeah, we did.
There's still people out there that they're going to be. I don't know, Stephanie. Have you had people comment about electroculture in your pasture, in your fields, or anything like that?
No. Again, I can get down with some hippie stuff, but I don't think it's needed. I don't think there's enough benefits to as much work it is to get it done that you're going to reap. Do you know what I mean?
Amen.
Yeah. No, if electroculture worked, then Michael's whole nursery would have electric rods all around on every fence post. It's a scam. I mean,
we'd buy it all up.
Yeah. It's a scam to sell copper.
Worked.
Yeah. I wish it worked. I mean, that would be cool. If it worked, it worked. But it's on Google. on Google Education or whatever Vikram said. It's on there. That whatever.
So there's another way to Google search that is really helpful. I use it all the time, and that's when you're wanting to filter out results. So whatever you're Googling, whatever topic, after that, type in site and then make a colon and then edu. And that will make it where all of your results will only come back from .edu websites. And so because if you were to just Google electroculture, all the top 500 results are going to be blogs and people talking about it, but it's not actually going to be university research. So when you type in electroculture site :edu, you will get university research if there is any on that subject. So that's what I use all the time if I'm researching a new plant disease or something that's coming up, or a new bug, or a viral problem that we're having with greenhouse. I don't want to hear like Joe Schmo's like opinion on this from their blog.
Their Reddit article.
Yeah, or the Reddit article or whatever, because those are always the top results. And so I use that filter with Google all the time to cut through and try to find where there's going to actually be, university articles about it.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I also it's like Google Scholar, where you can go on and make sure that it's been like a scientific published article.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the only thing is sometimes you're only allowed to have see the abstract of it. You may not have access to all of that, but a lot of times you can at least. Sometimes the abstract will give you enough support to run with it a little bit.
Does everyone here grow from more of an organic perspective? I don't want to just assume, or any of y'all grow more conventionally.
I would say I'm as organic as I possibly could be. When people ask me about organic growing, I said, yeah, I'm as organic as I possibly can be. I don't have the time or the ability to stand out in my garden with a stick and kill bugs all day long, so I'm gonna use neem oil or
completely. I'm asking more of conventional pesticides, 7-Dust, which I'm just curious because I had some questions around it, but I wanted to ask first.
Yeah.
So in our garden center,
conventional. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say we use conventional when we started in 2015. So we run commercial cattle and things like that, and so our hay fields and things like that, we use a lot of conventional chemicals, herbicides, applications, all of that. But as we've, like you said, I've told y'all, we dabbled with the biocompost. We're trying to get more towards that, but same with Destin. It's if I have bugs out there and it's going to eat the crop that is going to pay my bills for my family, I'm going to kill the bugs however I have to.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'll blast we use Azagarden Pyganic in the market gardens, which they're too organically certified, but they'll still not. You spray those bugs, they're gonna die from that stuff, and it's if again, like you said, if my crop's getting destroyed, I'm not gonna watch thousands of dollars, just get obliterated. Now I'm not gonna go and sell it and tell people it's organic if I use 7-Dust, for example. But yeah, I'm totally with you. You can't let everything die.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the terminology of the word organic as well, because saying organic could mean one thing to one person and one thing to the other. And so what is organic? I only use neem oil. Oh, I don't use neem oil. Oh, I only use ladybugs.
Yeah.
And then when you post a video that you bought ladybugs, you get a bunch of people coming after you. So it's a battle either way. But I try to be as open as possible about what I use in the garden. I had a cucumber beetle infestation about a year ago, and I could not control it with Pyganic, pyrethrin, anything. And I used the hell out of some 7-Dust. Yeah. But I read the instructions. I did all the precautions, and I didn't die. So we're good. And guess what? I didn't kill all my bees either. I didn't have an adverse reaction to anything. So it just killed a bunch of cucumber beetles.
Michael, so your nursery, I looked up to y'all, so I'm so happy that you're on the podcast. But in that setting,
you know about us?
Yeah.
They know me.
You are the man of the year. My question for you, in those settings where you do have the greenhouses and things like that, you probably have to really stay on top of your stuff. And do you get questions from your consumers? Like, are they worried about that?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And so we get that a lot, and that's something we kind of have to be careful with because we use organic methods and conventional methods because we grow a huge variety of stuff from vegetables and ornamentals and all kinds of stuff. But we try our best, or actually we do. I wouldn't on our vegetables that we grow. I don't spray anything onto them that I wouldn't personally spray in my own garden and feed to my kids. So we don't use any synthetic pesticides on our vegetables that we grow, but we do use synthetic pesticides on our ornamentals. And so we have to be careful about, making sure that we grow in separate areas and how we spray and what we spray. So that way we're not cross contaminating from one crop to another. And then we kind of do the same thing. We're not certified organic in the vegetables that we sell. And we'll have people that will ask us, are these organic tomatoes? Are these organic pepper plants? And we can't say, yes, they're organic because we're not certified. And, the products that we use, we just tell them what we use is our natural products, but these are not certified organic because we haven't gone through the processes of being certified. And our soil that we use is not a certified organic soil, but it's all organic material that goes into the soil. There's nothing synthetic in the soil that we grow in. So it's just like, we have to try to find that balance, but we certainly are getting more and more inquiries about that every year. And it's something that we kind of have to, be aware of, especially on our ornamental side of things now too, because the whole deal with neonicotinoids, systemic insecticides has really blown up, and people
You
are
can't use a
buying.
big word like that and not elaborate.
Explain.
You can't be using nicotinoids. I quit nicotine, so I'm gonna need to hear about this.
Neo.
Neonicotinoids are systemic insecticides, and so they're insecticides that will get into the vascular system of plants, and they will travel. You can put them on the roots as a root drench, and then they will travel all the way up through all the tissue of the plant. And then if the bugs feed on the plant, then it will kill them. And so they are one of the
I need
most
some of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing stuff because it's one of the most biggest technological advances that we've had in insecticides over the last 50 years. But they have a bad rap because they persist in the tissue of the plants. If you treat your plants with neonicotinoids or systemic insecticides and then you sell those plants, say you're selling a milkweed or something to someone, and then they take it home, the monarchs come in and lay their eggs on there, and then the caterpillars come out and eat that plant, and then the caterpillars die because those systemic insecticides are still in there. So we're having a lot of customers that will actually ask, hey, this milkweed, has it been sprayed with insecticide? And we have to be honest with them and tell them yes or no. And we have to be careful because we will spray some of our plants with it, but we really have to watch on our pollinator friendly plants to not spray those with the systemics as much. Now, a lot of the bad publicity they get, I think, is way overblown because in some regards, neonicotinoids can be safer for pollinators as opposed to other types of pesticides because, like I said, you can apply them as a root drench. So that way you're not actually volatilizing the chemical and putting it in the air. And so
you can target your treatments. Just
you
like
can target your
a
treatments a
non-pulp.
lot better.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
take something that is, more organic, like a clove oil or a sesame oil or one of these that are more organically certified. But if you're volatilizing that and putting it in the air and that lands on bees, then that can actually be more dangerous to them than, say, a systemic insecticide that's applied to the roots of a plant that bees are not actively foraging on.
That's wild. Is there a brand like a nicotinoid, like a brand that I can Google, like that you know of, or?
The most common one is imidacloprid. Just write that down. And then dinotefuran is the other one. So
Don't worry.
This is why products like Seven Dust sell so much easier because everybody can spell, metaclopride. That sounds like cough medicine.
So imidacloprid is the active ingredient, but it's in a ton of name brand systemic insecticides. So if you were just to Google systemic insect control, there's going to be a ton of name brands, Bayer and all these other places that have theirs. But you'll look at the label, and most likely what it's going to be is imidacloprid. But the other one that's a little bit newer is dinotefuran, which is in things like Safari, insect control, and that's kind of the newer stuff. And there's other ones out there too. But systemic insecticides, like, we wouldn't be able to grow poinsettias without systemic insecticides. They are so prone to whiteflies, especially that, back 30 years ago, we were considering completely dropping poinsettias altogether because it's so hard to keep bugs off of them with conventional spraying. And then systemics came along, and voila, we can grow beautiful poinsettias now. And they're not something that goes outside that's going to be harmful to bees or anything like that. So, we use them there.
Wow. Well, that's why we grow figs, Phil, because you don't really have to do anything to figs, man. Figs, dude.
You root them. They get fruit in the first year, and you're like, holy cow, that's amazing. I'm going to do that 70 more times. And then I have an orchard now. But
you root them, you fruit them, and then you kaboot them. You send them out, man. It's just, have you had any experience? So we're talking about figs now. Have you heard of the fig borer? You have any experience with the fig borer? It's like a
the only pest I have is like the spotted wing Drosophila that will put its larvae, like raspberries. They'll do that with the fig, and they can sour it and everything and ferment really quickly. And it's only wherever it exists, and if it's really humid out, it tends to. I've seen it once at night out there, and I was like, no, and I try to swat them off all the figs, but that's the only pest outside of I haven't heard of the fig borer at all. I've heard of the ambrosia beetle. Is that what you're referring to?
I think it's. I mean, it could be. I'm kind of dumb, but it's a little beetle, and it gnaws into the bark of the fig tree, and it specifically targets figs, and it lays its larva, and then it just rots it out. The tree rots out.
It's like the beetle
it
itself.
Very well
the
be
larva.
what you're
It's
saying.
not the bugs themselves that rot the tree. They also inoculate it with some sort of bacteria that also kills the tree. And it's like seeing the blue screen on your computer. It's such a death sign when you see these little spore remnants sticking out of the trunk of your tree, and you're like, this can't be happening. And you just have to I had it to one of my 10-foot trees that I had to lop to the ground and just essentially burn it. But figs are resilient. If you have an established root system, that same fig tree grew 8 feet the next year. So
wow,
yeah,
that's crazy.
And then and unfortunately, when you do that it's called regenerative pruning. And when you heavily prune a fig tree, and it'll have tons of growth, but it won't focus on fruit and fruiting. And so, fortunately, I got some fruit this year because we have a longer fig season. You guys all do too down in Texas, where I had fruit in the November, but that fig normally fruits for me in August, but it had spent so much time growing. So the shorter season, people have to forego a whole season of growing figs because of it.
I'm about to hurt your feelings, figs, Phil.
I go by both.
I picked a fig today. I'm still picking figs in my backyard.
I don't even want to hear that. No.
How much
still got figs in my backyard, dude.
I have a few. They're
figs?
not fruity, but it's I have so many experimental things going to my greenhouse because I'm a gardener and I can't help myself. So, but I have one with a little baby fig on it, but it's not going to give me that fig this year or next year.
For all the figs out there, little baby figs are called figlets.
No, baby figlets.
It's easy to remember.
Little baby figlets. Speaking of rootstock, so I was at work today, and we were driving down this back road, the back of the plant, and my buddy was riding with me. He's an old man, and he's got bad eyesight, so whenever he says he sees something on the side of the road, it's definitely not there. So we were driving.
And
he goes,
driving?
"What the heck?" No, I was driving, and he was riding with me, and he was like, "Man, what is that yellow thing hanging off the tree?" And I looked, and it was I saw the tallow trees, or all the leaves are turning yellow, and I was like, "It's the tallow trees," and he was like, "No, it's a fruit." And so I backed up, and I looked and I saw it was a lemon, and it was
Ooh.
a trifoliate.
Yeah.
And
I have
I
one.
was yeah. Yeah, it's so everybody, if you have a citrus tree at your house and it died back in the freeze, if it died back in the freeze, the top died and the rootstock is the trifolia. That's what's growing wild. And I had to do some research on the trifolia, and that was pretty neat to know that like they're a cold hardy variety of citrus that can grow up to like zone 6.
Mhm.
And then the fruit is inedible, from what I hear.
Yeah, it's so gross. We have them growing. I'm in East Texas, so just like 60 miles northeast of you, and they're all.
We lost Tanner.
Oh, where did he go?
It's okay. I don't know.
Into the
Go ahead,
ether.
go ahead.
This is boring. See you later. No, kidding. But they grow native. But whenever Phil, you said that you knocked that tree over or whatever, you mowed it back and it's regenerative and it comes back.
Yeah.
I find that so fascinating about almost all fruit trees and citrus trees. If you do that to them, they come back with a vengeance. I know, like we have a
They do.
blueberry farm, and it is a part of regenerative ag. If you mow them all the way back, you're gonna have an amazing blueberry crop in another 3 to 5 years. Like fruit trees are so fascinating.
In fact, like you bring up a good point. Like it helps the resiliency in a lot of ways. There's like fig mosaic virus that can show itself in a lot of fig varieties. If you get into fig trading on the internet and growing figs, it's inevitable they got exposed, and it kind of just lives with them. But if you often see like a fig mosaic virus branch showing and you lop the whole thing down, it actually will get stronger over time and come back more resilient against it years to come. So yeah, it's cool. I didn't know you could do that with blueberries though.
Yeah, you
That's
can just
awesome.
you could take blueberries all the way back down to the ground and they will come back.
I might do that.
I
Because
mean, this
mine are
is
little
like
babies.
these are like commercial rosa blueberries, so
Mhm.
maybe let's check the varieties. These are southern high bushes and rabbit eyes, but yeah. Hey, do you grow Michael, do you grow fruit trees at the nursery or do you bring them in?
We bring them in.
Cool.
Yeah, it would probably be way too difficult like that.
Yeah, we pretty much don't grow any woodies, is what we call them in our business. We grow annuals, perennials, vegetables, and then we don't grow any of the shrubs or trees. And actually, we grow a few shrubs, and then we don't grow our foliage, our tropical plants. We buy those in as well.
Yeah, if y'all are looking for some fruit trees as well, my buddy at Leg Creek Farms over in East Texas, he's sending me some blueberries, and we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to give away a blueberry plant to somebody on Facebook and a blueberry plant to someone on Instagram. Check Leg Creek Farm out. He's actually got a really cool book that he sent me. The Southern Orchard, month by month. This is a really cool book. Basically, if you're in like the Southeast Texas, tells you how to grow. This is obviously backwards, but it's a neat little book. You can get it on Amazon. It's the Southern Orchard, month by month, not a paid ad. So, yeah, but,
That's cool.
well, no, hey, Tanner's back.
Boom.
Where'd you go, man?
Hey.
It booted me off.
You're drinking too much of that mason jar water.
I guess so, man. It completely kicked me out of here.
Oh my goodness. No, it's all right. It's that Arkansas internet. I'm always surprised. Like my buddies in Alabama, and you don't think of like Alabama like having good internet. I don't know why. But like he said during the pandemic, they ran fiber like to his house, and he lives like out in this Cog Hill. He said they ran fiber all the way to his house, and I was like, I can't even get fiber in my house, and I'm like in Houston. This is BS.
Wow.
Like this is stupid. You know.
I would love fiber. I love, there's nothing worse than trying to upload a 30-minute YouTube video on your cell phone with terrible Wi-Fi,
Yeah, no, for sure.
It takes forever.
We were talking about editing and stuff like that. So Stephanie, you were saying you do all your editing for like Instagram and everything like that on the app. And you said you think you get better results doing it like that?
Yeah, I mean, back in, was it November, I think? I did a 30-day reel challenge just for myself. I challenged myself and posted one every single day and made sure that I edited it in the app. And I mean, we all know with social media, followers don't actually mean dollar signs, but it did increase my follower count significantly within 30 days. So I think it works. But also, I admire you guys that have the time and the skill and knowledge to sit down and edit. I would not even know what to do with something like that.
My
Well,
only
like
hack with ever figuring it out was that I used to be into like skateboarding in middle school. We like film each other doing tricks and stuff, and I was like, oh, I got to do like a cool edit, and so I was like, all that little part of my brain that I thought was like, why did I ever do that? Just because it was fun, came back into like content creation. And that's the only
Yeah.
thing that like helps me expedite it.
Yeah. Well, and it's much more time consuming to edit a video into like a 60-second clip than it is to do like a 10-15 minute video. Like it takes me no time to edit a YouTube video. Like it's nothing. The upload time takes a while, but like it'll take me probably twice as long to do a TikTok or a reel or anything like that. Because you're trying to condense all that information into 60 seconds. It's so wild. And then you got people who say, oh, don't make a TikTok or an Instagram that's longer than 15 to 30 seconds. Like I've done some guerrilla videos like for Instagram and stuff like that, and they've done really well. So I'm wondering if there's something to that. The attention span.
Yeah, people are looking for something to catch their eye and scroll on, I guess. But I think it's all about creating what you like to create too, and what your ideal customer likes. So if you like it, then whatever.
Yeah. Or we could just team up and create a 5-minute craft channel and start making the best 5-minute craft videos we could possibly make.
That would probably be a thing. So you guys use CapCut for YouTube and things like that?
I've got the pro version. I spend like $20 a month, and I can use it on my phone, and I can use it on my desktop, and
Nice.
You can edit it whichever format you want. It's really neat. It's probably close. It's probably similar to yours, like what you use, Dirk. It's probably very similar.
I'm sure. I mean, I try to keep it simple, man. I think it's people overcomplicate the video editing. It's like, man, just press record and edit and get it posted. Like, quit overthinking it.
Yep. I
That's a
agree.
great point. It's a great reminder sometimes when you're like, oh, what if I got this just right? You're like, nah, just
Yeah.
send it out. But I will say CapCut is the user-friendly design where I'm able to like just like cut and clip with my thumb along all their points. The sensitivity is good.
Yeah. If you ever use like Apple Movie or anything like that, is Felicia editing yours videos, Michael, or do you do those?
She edits all of them. I used
You
to
lucky
edit,
dog.
and I'm not lucky. I pay her.
He gets it right every time on the first try.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was editing my own videos, and I was like, this is my least favorite thing in the world. So I know how to do it, but I was like, this feels like a big, not a great use of my time. And so I was like, I'm going to hire someone. And then she turned out to be awesome. So we keep her around now. And now she drives everything on the channel. And I just sit in front of the camera and, come up with ideas. But one thing that really helped us with speeding up the editing is we break everything up into short clips. So when I'm making, I do longer videos. That's just my style. Most of my videos are like 1 to 3 minutes. That's kind of where I live, and that length. And but I get my thoughts together. I record about 10 seconds and then we stop, and then I regather my thoughts and I record another 10 seconds and I stop. And then that just helps to make the video flow a lot better, because you can tell when I'm talking, I have all these dead spaces when I'm talking, and I go, and I forget what I'm trying to say. And so whenever you actually just break it up into multiple little clips, and then all of a sudden you just throw it into the editor and string it all together and kind of cut out the lag time in between each clip, it makes the editing go faster. And I think that's led to a lot of our success on TikTok and the other platforms. Is it makes me sound smarter because there's not all the dead air in my video. It's just like boom, 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 going through the different points that I need to make, because she edits out all the dead space.
Well, you're good on camera, though. I mean, it's not just the editing. You're good on camera, and you're very knowledgeable. So it's that helps.
Thank you.
Felicia does do a good job. Shout out to Felicia at the Vital Root. She is awesome.
Felicia,
the
She
Gothic
snagged
gardener.
my last Godfather cut in.
She did.
Oh, good.
Bada bing.
Okay, so before we I don't know when you're going to wrap it up, but
No, go ahead.
I do want to make a plea for you to grow onions. Do you guys grow onions? That's one of my favorite things to grow, and it's almost time to do so.
Okay.
So
I'll grow onions.
I don't eat onions.
You don't eat onions? Oh, well, you
He's
should.
joking.
No, I don't. I don't eat
I
onions.
love onions. You don't
How
eat
do you
onions?
not? How?
It's a texture thing for me.
Do you eat? Do you eat any recipes? I mean, what do you eat?
So I don't mind. I don't. So I don't mind the flavor of onions, like onion powder and recipes or whatever. I don't like the texture of like the onion. I'm a texture guy.
But
So
you can
like,
like cook them and the texture goes away.
yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm biting into a fingernail. I don't like it.
Even if it's like finely minced up into a recipe that you can't even tell they're in there.
If it's like finely minced and cooked down, I can handle it. Like if
Okay,
I bite
okay.
if I bite into something, it's got a cooked onion in it, I'm fine. But like if someone tells me bite into this onion like it's an apple,
Who does that?
get the hell
No one
out of
does
here.
that.
I'm not doing it. People do it, man. Stephanie's looking at me like she does it.
I just like this. What's the guy you had on the podcast, Seed Farm
Zach.
Table, where he's out in California? Like onions, candy. Yeah, same thing. Love it.
Yeah, he's the most handsome man on Instagram. I know. Stop, Brack. Stop. He's already got a very big head. I know he's the best looking dude on TikTok. It says what it is.
I didn't say
My
that.
God.
I said that the way he bites an onion. Me too.
I'm deflecting because he's very handsome. I know.
Onions, actually, in Texas, like do you sell onion sets at your garden center?
We do. Yeah, for where we are, I always tell people to plant them in late January. We're up in zone 7, now zone 8, but I'm still going to call it zone 7. So the farmers plant their seeds in the fall, and then they get the sets ready to plant or to give to us in January. And I think late January is just the perfect time, late January, early February for us to get those in the ground. And they're so easy to grow and cheap, and you can store them for a long time. So I always tell people to grow onions, and you can use the tops as green onions. So you can harvest them at any point along the way, even before they get big, and they're just fun to grow, and that like no pests get on them ever. So that's a good.
Yeah, I think they're they're like carrots. You know, it's so satisfying to grow it, and a lot of people forget how easy it is to grow carrots and onions. Like everyone needs that, even a backyard gardener. You need carrots and you need onions. It's so satisfying to like rip it out and just look at it or eat it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, carrots are awesome like that.
I love carrots, hate onions, but I've tried. I do grow onions from time to time, but I've never had any success growing carrots. So Stephanie, give us some carrot growing tips. Dirk, you got some carrot growing tips?
That's the germination you're having issues with, I'm assuming.
The weeds are growing faster than the carrots. So like in commercial places, they'll go through and flame weed the weeds to allow the carrots to actually pop up, right? That's how they usually
tarp it before you like in the summer, or you need to plant them before that, but you could tarp it or get a little torch out and flame weed it,
I'm not opposed to that. I like fire.
Yeah, we don't flame weed or weed. We don't have that issue, but I mean, in the spring, yes. But for like the carrots we're harvesting now that we planted back in August and September, like it's pretty easy to keep those weed free when you bed it up. So that's my trick and tip for anyone is it's almost like growing potatoes. So you know how you hill potatoes?
Yeah.
So you got that really like loose, good soil and you hill it up. And then those carrots, it's just easy for them to grow. They can't grow in compact soil. I mean, think about it. You can't grow like that. So I always tell everyone to kind of hill them up and grow that way. And that means it's easier to weed too. You can just reach down there and move them out of the way.
Will it affect the shape of the carrot? Because yeah.
Yeah, if the soil's compacted, you'll get little stubbies or you'll get little legs that are crossed.
That's what I was wondering, because that's what Zach was talking about. He was like, well-draining soil makes the carrots. He goes, leave them in there longer. I guess some of them have like a terminal length. They're not going to grow any longer or whatever, but you're saying well-draining soil. So I was wondering if you were to hill it, would it start growing like fat on the top? So that makes sense, kind of like that.
That makes a lot of sense.
I might have to get that.
We try to pack as many, which we grow standard market garden 30-inch beds. We try to put as many rows as possible in it, and then that way the carrots just outcompete any weeds. That's helped us at least on that front. But
yeah, that's an awesome tip.
that's how mine's kind of worked. I smushed them all together. I was like, you know what? Let's just grow them tight. And I haven't had that bad of weed issues. Maybe it's just over the winter too. But
Well, maybe
Yeah.
I need to plant some carrots. Maybe I've seen people kind of get crazy with it, where they put carrot seeds in seed starting trays and they transplant carrot seed starts. Have y'all ever seen? That sounds crazy. I don't think anybody really does that, do they?
People
maybe
do
if
some
you
crazy
wanted to
stuff.
like,
I mean, we sell corn plants sometimes. Why would you do that? But like people ask for them, and they want us to bring in like flat of corn plants in 4-inch pots, and I'm like, you could just plant your own corn, and it's like super easy. But no, they don't want. Like,
Yeah.
do weird
Just stick
stuff.
the seed in the ground.
Yeah, corn is
Yeah.
like one of the easiest things to grow.
we have to take it with a grain of salt because we're all really like understanding, like have green thumbs. Like I know some people that cannot grow anything, and that you have to like
Mhm.
literally like tee it up for them, so it put it in the ground for them and let it grow, or even go over their house every few weeks and water for them to make sure it
Well,
stays alive. So
they were selling corn in 3-gallon pots at Fred Reyes, a place I was at for their fall fest, because people were buying it as ornamental stuff. For like, you start the seed in the spring, they get really tall, turn brown, and they're ornamental for like someone's front porch. It's
Corn
actually
stalks,
alive.
yeah.
Yeah. So I
Mm.
could see that.
I
Oh,
can see that too.
We lost Stephanie. Oh no.
She
That
got
cut
she got
and shoot
kicked off.
internet.
Yeah. It's all good. I think we're gonna cut it, guys. So right now, Michael? You're saying plant onions. If you like onions, plant onions right now.
Yeah, for us, the order is going to be, well, you got all your leafy greens. You can do the kale and all that. Just protect them against the coldest frost. But then once we're getting into spring, we do onions first, and then potatoes are coming along in February for us. You're planting potatoes, and then you're getting into all your spring stuff after that. But the onions are the first of the year for people, and people forget about them. And then they get into March and April, and they're like, "Oh, I want to plant some onions," but it's too late. Then they're not gonna grow well for you. So do your onions now or
Yeah.
soon.
No, I've tried to grow garlic as well, and garlic, it just takes so long. Garlic just takes so long, and I don't have that much space, so I just choose to buy my garlic. I don't. If I had more space, I would let a whole bed just be taken up, but I don't have that much space, and garlic can take like 6 months to like grow an actual big bulb, So
Just stick them
But
in your
and-
flower
and-
bed in the front of your house, along with your
I got an-
ornamentals.
I got an HOA, dog. I'm gonna get a fine. I'm gonna catch a fine up in here.
Bro,
I
you got
I
three
hate-
other
I hate
fines
my
with you
house.
right here.
On that note, everybody, I appreciate y'all coming on. Dirk, let everybody know where they can find you, and let us know what you got coming up. You got any events or anything?
No events, but you can follow along at Tanner Farmstead. So
You have 2 channels, right?
we're on all the major platforms. I don't have 2 channels. I have. What, you got
What's
blue?
that?
What's
What's going on over there?
What just happened to me? Dude, that freaks me. What just happened? What just happened? Oh my god, that freaked me out, dude.
someone's
my
No,
like,
we
God.
only
"Ooh,
have one.
man."
We only have one channel. We're just
I
on.
thought Oh, I thought you had 2 channels on Instagram: Tanner Farmstead and Dirk Tanner.
No, so I guess technically I've got a farm store that's just strictly our farm store that people follow locally.
Gotcha. Okay,
Because all my Tanner Farmstead stuff is all educational stuff, so I don't want to be posting like, hey, I've got lettuce in my farm store when all of our followers don't live nearby. So I created a separate channel just for that. A
Gotcha.
separate
Okay.
account. Yeah. So,
Gotcha. Well, cool. I tagged everybody. I hope I tagged you right on Facebook.
I think you did, yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for coming on, Dirk. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you all. I learned something new today. It was fun.
Dude, I learned some cool stuff, and I learned some dumb stuff, and usually the dumb stuff is the stuff I say, and then Michael corrects me. Michael, go ahead and tell everybody they can find you. I know y'all got some spring events coming up. Y'all got like an anniversary this year, right? At the nursery?
Yeah, this is our 75th anniversary of the garden center, and we're going to be putting a lot of classes on, seminars, workshops. So that'll be posted on our Smith's Garden Town Facebook page and other channels. Need to get you to come up and maybe do something with you. So holler at me about that with what your schedule's looking like for the spring, because we're going to be doing it big this year and just trying to get lots of traffic into the store and lots of fun. I'm heading to Florida in 10 days, going to a tropical plant show in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, wow.
Tropical Plant International Expo. And that's a huge convention that they have every year out there for the houseplants and tropicals.
Are you going to have a booth, or are you going to just be there? You're just going to be going?
I'm there to buy.
Oh, yeah.
So
You taking the truck with you, or what?
No, we just place orders and they'll ship them to us. I am taking my wife with me, so it'll be like a little vacation, little work vacation. When it's going to be freezing in Texas, it'll be hopefully nice and warm in Florida.
I need to schedule one of those, because it's like, oh, I went on vacation, but I did a bunch of gardening content, so cha-ching right off, stuff like that.
Exactly.
So I need to do some more of that.
Absolutely.
I want to try to go up to y'all's place, and we'll talk about that. And then me and Phil are going to try to go to Fig Fest in Sacramento this year with the Fig Hunter, and we may try to do some other things as well. Yeah, we got invited to be like celebrity judges at the Fig Fest last year, but he gave us like 3 days in advance, to come to Sacramento. I'm like, dude, come on, it's just like so. We love figs, but that'd
be really cool. That sounds awesome.
Oh yeah, well, there's all kinds of we want to actually go fig hunting. We want to drive around, find figs growing wild in California, and we'll be out there with the saw, cutting pieces up, take home with us. Gotta grab some capper figs.
Sounds illegal, but I like it.
Hey. Define. Well, it's California. Everything's
illegal.
We'll
bring phytosanitary certificates, and maybe it'll be better that way.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna let Phil do the talking apparently, because I don't know what the hell he was talking. He just said, "Yeah, what he said, officer." Phil, let everybody know where they can find you, and let us know about your website.
Yeah, I have a big fig cutting sale going on right now on philsfigs.com. You can find me on at Phil's Figs on all those social media platforms except for maybe X. And I think I have a few events coming up, but they're all here in the Wilmington area, Wilmington, North Carolina. We got the Poplar Grove plant sale that's in April, and the Hobby Greenhouse Club of Wilmington. We're doing a greenhouse tour. So if you ever want to come, if you're in North Carolina, you want to see my setup, I'll be on that tour. So, and then of course Fig Fest in September. I'm the president, yeah, which is pretty cool. And it's a nice combo of people in the industry as well as just hobby growers solely. And so it's been a great network to join up with for sure.
Yeah, you need to get a hat that says "Make Figs Great Again" just because you're the president.
Figs are already great. They're wonderful.
Oh my goodness. Well, Stephanie lost signal, but she is River V Growers on Instagram, and she's tagged in the live. So make sure to follow her. She's got a bunch of events, I'm sure, but I don't know. But I'm Destin Nowak, the Texas Garden Guy, and I appreciate y'all tuning in and hanging out with us tonight. If y'all have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section after I post a live. Tag the guys in the video. Go follow everybody. And if you didn't get to watch from the beginning, you can start over. And this will be on YouTube tomorrow. So appreciate everybody coming on. And talk to y'all later.
Thank you.
Don't